Like, if your pussy ain't good, then you're like, the rest of your life feels it. It's impacted. Like,
So what do you mean when pussy ain't good?
It's pussy next door.
Brilliant. Here we go. Let's get it. Let's get it.
To pussy.
To pussy. That's good. That's really good.
Okay, so what we're gonna do today, we're talking about pussies, all things real and true, and everything that our experience with our pussies, our experiences with pussies, not just from us, not just to us, but from and to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Okay, so today, let's just introduce the podcast. So the podcast is Pussy Next Door.
Hey. We will be your pussies next door.
Your neighborly pussy. So we're here just to talk about our experiences with our pussies. So I'm Maritha. You can find me at Maritha Jo on Instagram. I'm feeling free pussy.
And I'm Davina. You can find me at Just Davina on Instagram. And right now, I'm just like free pussy.
And I'm Lindsay, and I'm at Empower Print on Instagram. And I'm ready for this conversation.
Okay, so today our conversation is about talking about pussies. So what has it been like talking about pussies? What has your conversations been talking about pussies? What has been that lead to that conversation about pussy? And I know that some people may have never had a conversation about pussy. So on this first episode of Pussy Next Door, we're going to talk about talking about pussy, because that's what we're here. That's what we're here to talk about. So it's not simple. It's a little controversial, talking about pussy. It's a little bit like on the edge, on the fringe. Even the word pussy is a little bit fringe, right? Like, so I'm curious, like, let's have a conversation about what was it like for you to talk about pussy? When did you start talking about pussy?
Oh, wait. Like, for me, talking about pussy was just like, well, first off, we didn't call it pussy. We called it something. For me, it was like my cuckoo, right? And so when I spoke about it, yes, I knew it was my vagina, but it was the cuckoo. Like, if I had an issue and I had to talk to my mom at a young age, I'm like, oh, Mom, my cuckoo, like, it hurt, or it itched, or what's this down there,
Yeah.
So that will probably be the beginning of, like, the pussy talk for me in my experience. Like, when you actually realize you got pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the cuckoo's there. What is it?
Yeah.
So maybe, like, around the age of, like, 3 or 4, when you start really having to, like, cleanse yourself as a young girl. Now you're big and supposedly grown, and you want to do bath time on your own. So it's like, how do I clean it? What does that look like? So I think initially for me, like, those conversations started happening at 3. Now, when we start thinking about when I started getting older, what does those conversations look like then? So, I mean, what about you, Lindsay?
I feel like I'm like longing for some of the openness that it sounds like you're describing. Being able to talk about it, having this like really fabulous word of cuckoo. I feel like there was a little more hush when I was younger, and not shameful. In fact, I think that my mom had done a really intentional job of not bringing like body shaming into that conversation, because she had grown up in a very strict Catholic household, and the interpretation of Catholicism and how it functioned in her household maybe didn't always make her feel like she could be open about having a period or things like that. So for me, there wasn't this element of shame, but it definitely wasn't like a topic for discussion. It wasn't. it was talked about when it needed to be talked about, like if a period was coming, if somebody had to use a tampon. It was talked about in terms of protecting, not letting anybody else see.
Don't let nobody see your pussy.
Exactly, right? It was, and then I'm thinking about like society and social norms and like being in school, and there was so much emphasis on the penis. That was the penis is what you drew on your test.
The desk, just walking a desk with a penis on it.
Well, then also, if you think about it, pussies are kind of hard to draw because there's so many types.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
Penis was the easiest thing to draw.
Interpretive pussy.
2 balls and an oval.
But maybe it kind of like reaffirmed for me a little bit that like, almost like there was like a non-existence of my pussy.
Damn.
That there wasn't space for it in a social spotlight, and maybe, you know, I feel like if there was something going on, I could totally go to my mom, but as a topic of discussion, as something like celebratory or informative or something like that, it was minor.
What about you?
For me, I don't even remember actually talking about pussy, but like I grew up with so many girls, my mom and 4 sisters. Is there 4 sisters or 4 of us?
Girl.
Okay, shit. 4 sisters. Okay, so like we didn't really talk about pussy. It was just like a thing that you knew just because you were kind of got it through the air. Like it's just like, it's like somehow I know this information. Like I don't know how, but I just kind of know it. Like we never even talked about it. Like there was one conversation I had with my mom. I was like, hey, I'm gonna start having sex. She's like, all right. She's like, get on the birth control. I was like, okay.
You told your mom you were about to start having sex?
Yeah.
Damn, I ain't say nothing until after it was done.
No, I that was like the one, like I didn't tell my mom when I was starting my period, but I was like, I gotta tell her that when I'm starting to have sex. I don't know why, but like that was pretty much the only conversation I had about pussy. Like any conversations that I've ever had about pussy have been like with friends, and it just, I don't know, kind of like just like little naughty, just a little naughty conversation. Not like really deep, like what's going on with you, girl. It's been like, oh, he be up in there, you know what I'm saying?
Like I learned how to fuck.
Yes.
Right.
The one leg up. But so the conversations I've ever had about pussy generally have not been with like the women in my family. It's always been like more about outside, like friendships, and like even more so, just like you were saying, like conversations later in life have been a little bit different, have a little more depth, have a little more kind of transparency. It's just like, hey, this is what's happened with pussy. Just like, can I just talk to you about my pussy? Yeah. And it may not just be so plain, but just more conversations about just your pussy have been happening. And I think for me personally, that's been something that, because of you ladies, because of the people that I'm around, has been more and more normal. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, like, it has to be a normal conversation. Yeah. I mean, like, do y'all speak about pussy back home? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this like with your squad? But I know, like, it's always been normal for me and my friends. Now, I mean, I don't go talk about pussy to everybody, goddamn body. You know what I'm saying? But it is something normal. So, like, I'm able to sit and have these conversations with you ladies and not feel like the judgment or the shame. Because, like, I mean, pussy go through a lot. You know, and after 25, then 28, you know what I'm saying? Like, the pussy be changing. Like, the game changes a lot. Like, it was fun pussy all the way from, like, 16 to 23. 24, 25, you're like, oh, like, bitch, what we doing?
Excuse me.
What we doing? You know?
Like, change is
it's
going
real.
And also, what are we doing? Because I'm just saying, like, fine wine
Ooh.
and discovering some new things too. I'm like, oh, we do that? We also do that? I didn't know we did that. In my 20s, I didn't know we did that.
Yeah.
Like, this is awesome.
But yes, absolutely. Oh, something you made me think of. It's gonna escape me now.
Okay. When you think about
About your friends and your circle. I wanted to also just give you both props and just like credit and acknowledgement, because when I came here and met you, you had that openness, you had that willingness, you had that confidence, you had that invitation and that level of community. And I think that's, let's get it real quick for one, because you know you gotta do it. Cannot.
keep talking, girl. I'm gonna
But
refill.
you know, I had experienced that with community and with my close friends at home. But to find that type of conversation and connection in just meeting women who are new in my life, I felt like that was really special, and I learned a lot from that in terms of like building trust, building community, and it was like embodiment. It was comfortable for you to do, so it was comfortable for me to do, right?
Yeah.
And that's ultimately what we're trying to infuse this world with, right?
Yeah.
Is this safe space? Is this sacredness? Like, you didn't, as far as I know, and blessed, you didn't run and tell them.
On my business.
Listen. So that to me is like, that's how we build together.
Yeah.
That's how we also heal together. That's how we get what we need. Nobody out here struggling, trying to navigate by themselves, can't get the right thing.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's really real.
Yeah. That's deep. That's deep. And it's one of those things, like, one thing that I do hope that listeners understand is that, like, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, this should be a conversation amongst most women, or let alone all women.
I want to say
I'm saying
something.
most women, but I'm like, no, all women. Like, we should be able to talk about our pussy freely. Like, girl,
Right.
have you experienced this? Girl, do you know about this?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Being able to, like, drop gems on one another, so then that way we ain't out here struggling.
Shit. I feel like there's so much, like, even in talking about pussy, because it's like so much of for me, I'm just like, so much of my identity, like, even growing up, has been like pussy. And like I've said before, like, if your pussy ain't good, then you're like, the rest of your life feels it. It's impacted. Like,
What do you mean when pussy ain't good? What does that mean?
When you having pussy problems, when your pussy is either you know it's not right. You know what your pussy like when it feel right, when it look right, when it feel right in your soul. You know when your pussy like when it's not right. When you having pussy problems. That's what I mean. When you having pussy problems, like, everything, your whole life is impacted. Like, for me, like, pussy problem, I was just like, it's like nothing feels right. So I'm saying, like, even being able to talk about pussy, especially when you need it the most, when you feel like, hey, I got these pussy problems, I don't know what's going on, like, do you know what I can do, because this is ruining this part of my life right now. Like, help me, my pussy needs help.
Yes.
So it's just like in these moments where you want to commune and heal and help your pussy, like, you have to do that through other women, right?
Yeah.
Like, and there's really no pussyfooting around.
That's my word. Pussyfooting, yeah. Maybe pussyfooting around.
No pussyfooting around it. Like to get that real help in those spaces, especially, you need to be being comfortable, even having, or being on the edge, or being courageous, or being whatever that is for you, like, but still able to have these conversations. And I feel like, I know for me, it's been a cultivation of I was gonna say, more and more having these conversations. So I feel like having an accessible pussy conversation is super valuable.
Yeah. It's necessary.
Necessary. Definitely.
Yeah, maybe think of three things. Hope I can remember them all. One is we need to have like something to keep track of the pussy puns because
Yeah,
like, we need a pussy pun meter.
Panometer.
In my experience, looking at media and conversations around so much of my like self-worth or my worth as a woman is so connected to vagina, but not vagina, pussy.
Yeah.
Pussy as sexy, pussy as desirable,
right?
Pussy as object. So much of my relationship to my pussy becomes about how other people are going to experience it and see me. And then it relates to my whole identity as a woman, right? And things like that.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
You might have to come back to me. But yeah, I'm just thinking about what undoing that looks like and my pussy for me. And what it also means is...
As a podcast topic.
My pussy for me. That... What power does the pussy hold? And I know that you know. But what power does the pussy hold that somebody wants to keep me from? With all their media messages and all their hypersexualizing. Oh, what power, what is going on here? What happens when my pussy's for me?
That makes me think about it, like, because, all right, we got 3 minutes on here. So, like, knowing how women have so much power inherently, knowing how pussy cultivates power. We gonna talk about this later. Anyway, but, like, knowing that there's such power in connection and being able to talk about pussy, which itself holds unspeakable amounts of power. Like, women coming together and talking about pussy and being able to connect around pussy, that just says power to me.
Yeah. But y'all need to stay tuned because we got way more conversations for y'all. Like, this is only the tip of the iceberg.
The tip of the clit.
The tip of the clit. I like that. Ooh, that was good. But as always, y'all stay tuned. And we gonna holler at y'all soon. Once again, I'm Davina. You can find me on IG at just Davina. Go ahead.
All right, I'm Maritha. You can find me at Maritha Joe.
And I'm Lindsay, and I'm at Empower Print.
All right, until next time, y'all. Peace.
But first, I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
I want to ask you, what would it be like if you were talking about pussy with your friends? What would that conversation look like? How would it start? How would you ease into that conversation about talking about pussy? If it's uncomfortable, what could it be like if you were having conversations about pussy? Just some questions. Until then.
Peace, y'all.